Politics is the art of anticipating human nature. Power is maintained through decisive action. Fortune favors the bold in leadership. A ruler must be both feared and loved, yet choose fear if forced. Appearances often hold more sway than reality. Prudence guides those who wish to hold power. He who relies on fortune risks losing all. The ends justify the means in governance. Reputation is the shadow of authority. A wise prince avoids being despised or hated. Change is the only constant in politics. Adaptability ensures survival in turbulent times. The masses are fickle and must be guided carefully. Security of power requires vigilance at all times. It is better to be feared than flattered. All men are motivated by self-interest. Manipulate appearances, for men judge by what they see. A ruler must be shrewd as a fox and strong as a lion. Fortune controls half of human actions, strategy the other half. Those who fail to act decisively are swept aside. Prince must learn how not to be virtuous when necessary. Trust is a fragile weapon in politics. The wise exploit opportunities as they arise. Enemies should be neutralized before they consolidate power. Discipline is the backbone of authority. The strong govern by law, the weak by whim. Success comes to those who understand the hearts of men. It is better to be feared than loved, yet avoid hatred. A prudent ruler avoids being overly generous or miserly. Power is maintained through a balance of force and favor. All alliances are temporary and must be managed wisely. Appearances can deceive. Perception is power. A leader who hesitates loses advantage. Men are guided more by fear than by reason. Fortune punishes those who rely solely on luck. The people are simple and must be led gently yet firmly. A shrewd leader uses cruelty judiciously to secure loyalty. The wise prince avoids unnecessary wars. A strong reputation discourages rebellion. The ambitious must appear virtuous to maintain influence. One must appear to have all qualities, even if privately lacking. Weakness invites aggression from rivals. Men judge rulers by results, not intentions. A prince must guard against flatterers and sycophants. Change is best controlled by decisive, calculated moves. It is safer to be feared than loved if one cannot be both. The prudent leader adjusts to circumstances. With flexibility, power is best consolidated before challenges arise. Human nature is inherently self-serving. It is easier to maintain power through structure than through mercy. Deception is a necessary tool in leadership. Fortune tests those who are unprepared with calamity. The wise ruler ensures loyalty through reward and fear balanced. Authority must be visible to deter disorder. The ambitious rise by opportunity, not morality alone. Enemies should be weakened quietly before confrontation. It is better to be decisive than morally perfect in crisis. Those who overestimate virtue in politics fall quickly. Appearances of justice maintain social order. Fortune changes quickly, and power must be resilient. A ruler must master both war and diplomacy. Generosity can be dangerous if it undermines authority. All men covet power and will exploit weakness. Security comes from preparation and foresight. It is easier to gain power than to maintain it. Men are loyal only when it serves their interests. The wise leader anticipates the actions of allies and enemies alike. Fortune rewards the bold and punishes the timid. It is better to seem compassionate than to act rashly. The prudent ruler avoids being despised by the masses. All political acts are judged by effectiveness, not morality. Strength must be exercised with careful calculation. The ambitious must appear merciful while maintaining control. Power depends on the perception of competence. A leader cannot rely solely on law. Force must back authority. Deception can secure peace when truth fails. The people respect power more than virtue. All rulers are tested by circumstance, not theory. It is better to anticipate betrayal than to trust blindly. Appearances of generosity must be carefully calculated. A prudent ruler studies history to avoid mistakes. Fortune is fickle. Preparation mitigates its effect. Power is consolidated through strategic alliances and calculated risks. The strong survive because they adapt quickly. Men admire cunning as much as strength. A wise leader knows when to act and when to wait. It is safer to offend a few than to fail the many. Mercy without prudence invites rebellion. Political skill is the art of managing reality, not ideals. The masses are impressed by spectacle more than reasoning. Reputation for cruelty can prevent disorder if wielded wisely. It is better to be feared than loved if one must choose. Fortune favors preparation and audacity. The ambitious must learn to manipulate perception. All men are motivated by self-interest and fear. A ruler must appear virtuous even when pragmatic ruthlessness is necessary. Power is retained through vigilance and decisive action. Those who hesitate lose opportunity to rivals. Appearances often outweigh reality in maintaining authority. The wise ruler balances generosity and severity. Enemies must be monitored and neutralized before they act. Fortune is best controlled through adaptability and skill. The prudent leader knows when to bend and when to strike. All human affairs are a contest of cunning, and authority requires both fear and respect. The ambitious must understand men, not rely on ideals. Deception, prudence, and calculation are the tools of enduring power. History rewards those who act decisively and strategically. The ultimate power is maintained through preparation, foresight, and courage.
Men judge generally more by the eye than by the hand. Whoever desires constant success must change his conduct with the times. Never attempt to win by force what can be won by deception. Men sooner forget the death of their father than the loss of their patrimony. He who wishes to be obeyed must know how to command. The promise given was a necessity of the past, the word broken is a necessity of the present. Politics have no relation to morals. Hatred is gained as much by good works as by evil ones. The lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves. Men are ungrateful, fickle, false, cowardly, covetous. A wise ruler should rely on what is under his own control. One change always leaves the way open for the establishment of others. Where the willingness is great, the difficulties cannot be great. There is nothing more difficult to take in hand than to lead the introduction of a new order of things. In the actions of men, especially princes, the end justifies the means. A prince never lacks legitimate reasons to break his promise. The first method for estimating the intelligence of a ruler is to look at the men he has around him. It is not titles that honor men, but men that honor titles.
The wise man does at once what the fool does finally. A prince who is not wise himself will never take good advice. Men rise from one ambition to another. He who becomes a prince by the favor of the people should keep them as his friends. The vulgar crowd always is taken by appearances. There is no avoiding war. It can only be postponed to the advantage of others. The chief foundations of all states are good laws and good arms. He who has not first secured his position cannot instruct others. Nature has created men so that they desire everything and are unable to attain it. A change of circumstances often turns enemies into friends and friends into enemies. Whoever believes that great advancement and new benefits make men forget old injuries is mistaken. The injury that is to be done to a man should be of such a kind that one does not stand in fear of revenge. Men are driven by two principal impulses, either by love or by fear. One who deceives will always find those who allow themselves to be deceived. Fortune is the arbiter of half of our actions, but leaves the control of the other half to us. A ruler who relies on mercenaries will never be stable or secure. There is no other way to guard yourself against flattery than by making men understand that telling you the truth will not offend you. He who wishes to found a state and give it laws must assume that all men are wicked. War is just when it is necessary. The greater the cruelty, the greater the security. Men in general judge more by the eye than by the hand, because everyone can see, but few can feel.